have planned today's lecture in such a way that many of you might have not done your PhD. Okay, so maybe some few people are there whom I could see as doctors. Okay, so they have done PhD. So I am going to give you systematic steps for literature review and IPR. So you can listen to me for 1 hour. So after that, you can ask me any question you're going to have in your mind. Okay. So you can be attentive for 1 hour. Please don't sleep. Okay. So I'm going to give you a very, very interesting information. As sir introduced, I'm a professor of physics. So whatever the examples I'm going to give will be lenient towards science only. So whoever is in the arts field or even in the commerce field, so they need not worry about it. So you can also apply whatever I'm going to tell you in your field of interest also. Okay, so let me begin. So my outline of talk goes like this. Literature survey, search engines, list of major, journals related to my topic of interest. And then I'm going to explain you digital repositories, Mendeley and Zotero. So these are the softwares which are very, very important for, keeping your literature record. Then IPR, intellectual property rights, types of IPR, patents, and followed by the conclusion. Okay. So before you start any research work, okay, so because after you joined, okay, well, you have joined without PhD, then after a few years, you will start realizing that PhD is mandatory for your certain promotions and also for getting some suitable positions or for occupying some key positions. So you are required to do your PhD or complete your PhD. So in that case, so it's better that you start thinking about starting your PhD or research right now only. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult for you. Okay. So before you take up any research work, so what you have to do is you have to undergo literature survey. Okay. So suppose if you are from the science stream, so what you will do, you will first choose the guide and then you will see what that guide is, what is a field of interest of that particular guide, and then you will go and talk to the guide and you will discuss what topic or what subject or what broad area that you can choose for your research. Okay, so for that, what your guide will suggest you is, so you go and see the literature, what are the work which have been carried out in that particular field of interest. So then you have to carry a thorough literature survey before you choose your topic of interest or the title of your PhD work. So the same thing applies to the arts people also, and also it applies to the commerce, whoever, whatever may be the subject. Before you choose your topic of interest and then choose the title of your work, you have to take up literature survey. Okay, so literature survey is very, very important. So what I mean by literature survey? Literature survey, I mean, is collection of research publications, books and other documents related to the defined problem. So before you take up the work, so people would be already published certain work. Okay, so in the form of literature. So if you, if you don't go through the literature, what happens is you may start doing some work which may be already done in the literature. So that is your waste of time. Okay, so that's why what you should do is you should collect thoroughly whatever it has been done in a particular area of research, and then you should decide what has not been done in the literature, and based on that you can choose your topic of interest. Okay, so if something is remaining, if some flaws or some what I can say gaps are found in the literature, so that you can add and then you can complete your research work. Okay, so research is not searching. So searching means it's your whatever the work you are doing it for the first time, so that will be innovation or discovery. But what you're going to do is, it is research, means whatever has been done, based on that you're going to add your contribution. So that is a research work. Okay, so what are the sources of literature? So how do I decided I have to do my PhD. So and I'll go to the guide and I'll discuss, and he will ask to go through the literature, and he will ask me to bring all the work which has been already done. So how do I go about it? So there are 3 steps of literature survey. So the first one is primary literature survey, secondary and tertiary. So among that, what I mean by primary sources of research. So actually it is the information that is shown for the first time is called as a primary literature, or as original materials in which other research is based. You see, whenever you do something, if you're taking some work from the earlier work, so you have to cite it, you have to give reference for it. Okay, so that reference will be the primary sources. So primary sources like textbooks, okay, so they will display original thinking and report on the discoveries, or they will share fresh information. So that is a primary sources. So for example, so for the primary sources, the examples are thesis, dissertations, scholarly journal articles, which are research based, and some government reports. You know, gazettes and other things will be published by the government periodically. Symposium and conference proceedings, original artwork, poems, photographs, speeches, letters, memos, personal narratives, diaries, interviews, autobiographies, and correspondence. So I'm just talking about all the fields, not just the science field. So if you consider all the fields, so all these things are going to be the primary sources of research. So if I come to the secondary sources, so these sources offer an analysis or restatement of the primary based on the primary sources. So if somebody is writing a review of the primary sources, that comes under the secondary sources. So they actually describe primary sources. So they will give critic review, or they give explanation of the primary sources. So they tend to be working as a summary, or they are going to interpret the primary sources, or recognize the importance of the primary resources, or otherwise they provide an additional information to the primary sources. Okay, so they are the secondary sources. So what are the examples for secondary sources? Textbooks, edited works are the books and articles that interpret or review the research work, histories, biographies of certain, renowned person or renowned people, literary criticism and interpretation, reviews of law and legislation, political analysis and commentaries. So all these things, some things will be in the book form, some things will be in the speech form, some things will be also in the video form. So all these things are called secondary sources. So next comes the tertiary sources. So what are these sources? These sources that index, abstract, organize, compile, or digest other sources. So these are going to index, or these are going to be the literature which depends upon the secondary as well as the primary sources by giving index or abstracting, or by giving the references of the primary and secondary sources are called as the tertiary sources. So some reference materials and textbooks are considered as tertiary sources when their chief purpose is to list and summarize, or simply they are going to, what I can say, reuse the ideas or other information from the primary and the secondary sources. And tertiary sources are not credited to a particular author, because it is not the asset of a particular author, because it is going to be the asset of the authors of secondary as well as primary sources. So for example, dictionaries, encyclopedias, and almanacs, fact books, Wikipedia, bibliographies, directories, guidebooks, manuals, handbooks, and textbooks. These are not going to be the, what I can say, they are not going to be for any particular person. It's not going to be like identified with any particular person, but these are the things which will be based on the work done by other people. Okay, so they are going to put it in the form of either dictionary or encyclopedia. As far as these Wikipedia, bibliographies, Google, all these things are concerned, they are also going to be depending upon the primary and secondary sources. Okay. So, okay, so you have done thoroughly, or you have decided to take up the literature review. Okay, so literature review is depending upon these 3 sources. So now the question comes, how do we do the literature survey? Okay, so what are the primary sources which I can, or what are the immediate sources? I cannot say primary. What are the immediate sources that I can depend upon in order to know about the work which has been carried out in our field of interest? So first of all, first and the foremost way of undergoing literature survey or taking up the literature survey is the sources are journals which publish abstracts of papers. Okay, and these days it's very easy because you can Google it. Okay, so the work related to you can give some title and you can Google it. I'll show you how you can search it. So next is review articles. Review articles are the articles which have been written based on the papers published within 5 years or something like that. If you go through the literature, review article, you can get all the information about the papers published in that particular research area. And then journals which publish research articles and advanced level books on the chosen topic and proceedings of conferences, workshops, etc. And also you can collect reprint or preprints available with the supervisor and nearby experts working on the topic chosen. So your guide might have already collected certain work or the literature. You can, ask him to or ask her to give it back, and then you can refer to that and you can go and discuss with your supervisor about what you have studied. And finally, of course, internet. These days, this is a very, very important source of literature survey. So literature survey or literature review, okay, not only informs your research question, but also identifies gaps in existing knowledge. That's what I told you in the beginning. This, whatever the presentation I'm going to give you, that will act as a guide through the key steps to conduct an effective literature review. Anyway, you're going to get these slides, right? So you can keep these slides with you and you can go through it again and again, and you will get a thorough idea about starting of your research. Okay. So now let me concentrate on the search engines for the research. Okay, so these are very, very important, right? So I have decided and I want to know the sources. So the first one is, the first and the foremost is the Google, which you have already using, right? So you're already using Google. So it's not a new thing. So my topic of interest is flexible triboelectric nanogenerator. So that will depend on your topic of interest or the field of interest. So you can just Google it. Okay, so if you Google it, you see, if I give only this phrase, that's a flexible triboelectric nanogenerator, how many searches I have got? 46,100 results I have got within 0.44 seconds. That means this is such a very important area of research. Okay, so I'm going to get scholarly articles. So these are all the articles which have been published. But if I use only Google, it's not going to be useful for me. So what I'm going to use is Google Scholar. Okay, so Google Scholar will fetch me a particular articles which are related to my topic of search or the title of search. So I have given the same thing, flexible triboelectric nanogenerator. So that will give you, the papers which have been published in that particular area. So in the advantage of Google Scholar is, so you can search it by your year of interest. So it has started from 2018, 17, 14, etc. You can ask it to give only the searches which corresponds to only 1 year also. And also you can sort by date, sort by year, sort by the author name, etc. And here I have given include patents, include citations also. And also I have ticked create alert. So suppose if I say create alert, whenever that particular paper, any paper which is related to my search phrase publishes, so I will get an email alert. Okay, so I'll get an email alert and I can go, I can check my email and I can check what is a important article that has been published in my area of research or field of interest. Okay, so the major advantage of Google Scholar is, so it will first show up the title of the paper and then the authors and the journal. So this is Nano Energy is telling you the paper. Okay, so journal and the year of publishing and also the publisher name. Okay, and also the citations it will show, and the, what are the related articles also it will show, and also it will tell you whether you can download it or not. Okay, so if it say it is PDF, you can click on that, you can download it and you can go through the journal. Okay, you can go through the paper. So like that, it will give all in the information, and that's why going through the Google Scholar is very, very important. And we advise to our students to publish those articles in those journals which come under Google Scholar. Any question? You should mute yourself. So all of you, please mute yourself.
Ma'am, sorry for the interference. Madam, sorry for the interference.
Yeah, tell me.
Could not able to see the full page. We could not able to see the full page, madam. You can zoom.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I will see. Wait. View full screen. Is it now possible? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So if you have any question, you can ask me. Okay, so but don't unmute for your personal whatever the conversation. Okay, yeah. So Google Scholar has a major advantage. So I have an account in the Google Scholar. Okay, so I will show you. So this is a recently downloaded, maybe today. Okay, so you can see here that so the Google Scholar account in individual's name will give or will list all the papers. Okay, so which we publish in the different journals, and also it will show what is our total citations. So my total citations is 1492. That means 1492 people have cited my work. Okay, so that is the meaning of that. And I have H index 16, I-10 index 26. So that I will explain in the next slide. Okay, so this is my first, this is my highest cited paper. So it has 275. It has 275 times have been cited. That means when do you cite a paper? So whenever you think that work is important for your work. Okay, so then only you are going to cite, and it will show year of publishing. Okay, so I have some 86 papers. So it goes. So you can go to Google Scholar and you can give my name and you can search for that. Okay, and suppose if you are interested in some professor or some scientist who is working in your area of research, so what you can do is, so just to know for the curiosity what that professor is doing, what are the papers they are publishing, you can go to the Google Scholar and you give his name and you can search. You can get all the information or the publications related to that particular professor, and you can see whether your area of interest falls under the area of interest of that particular professor, and then you can approach that professor for carrying out PhD program. Okay, so I told citation. I told I have 1492 citations. What I mean by that? Citation means reference to a source of information that we have used in our writing, research, or presentation. So I cannot use some information which has been already published without citing that particular person. Okay, so that is a meaning of citation. Otherwise, it becomes plagiarism. That means I am copying some intellectual property which has been already, that was a original idea of some person. Okay, so it is like stealing. So, you will steal sometimes, like money, no? So like that, it is stealing of their knowledge. Okay, so that is not, what I can say, that is not, there is no provision for stealing the knowledge. So you can use the information. That is always possible, but you should cite that work. You should give citation or weightage for that person. So that is a meaning of citation. So citations actually, what they have several purposes. The first purpose is acknowledging the sources. So they give credit to the authors or creators of the original work. That means if I am getting some more than 1500 citations, means people will identify me as a good researcher, So if I have suppose 25,000 citations, so it's something different. Okay, so I'm a very useful scientist, or I'm doing a much more, I mean, what I can say, important work. So that is a meaning. And also it is going to, I mean, serve supporting claims. They back up your arguments or ideas, means they are going to uphold. Okay, so they will say again and again what you have published is correct or not. Okay, so that is an important thing. And also avoid plagiarism. Okay, so that will avoid plagiarism also. That means by citing the resources, you show that you are not claiming someone else's work as your own work. Okay, so I mean, if you are claiming somebody's work as your work, that means plagiarism. And if you use without citing, so you will be blocklisted. So you will not be allowed to publish anymore. So you will be blocklisted, like I mean, like prisoning the thief or something like that. It's in academic whatever the writing. So it is a like a, I mean, prisoning. Okay, so we should not have plagiarism. So guiding readers, citations allow readers to locate and verify the sources you by which you give them. Okay, suppose if I am citing a work, they can go to that work, they can open that paper, and they can refer to that paper, and they can understand completely what has been discussed or what has been done in that particular paper. So then what are the components of citation? How do you cite the particular work? So citation includes author, that is who created the particular work or written the particular paper, and then title, what is title of the book or article or the web page, and the publication date or the year, publisher, that means in which journal they have published, and also that will include page numbers, device, URL, edition, etc., depending upon the source type. Okay, so these are the different types of citation. Okay, so one of my student, Rumana Fareen, so she has shown 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types of citing a same article. Okay, so it has been, I mean, cited self-powered braille code keyboard. Okay, so copper selenide as a fissile nanomaterial for triboelectric nanogenerator. This is the same paper, has been cited in 5 different ways. So this is MLA way of citing, APA, Chicago, Harvard, and Vancouver. Okay, so that is a, I mean, citing an article with different styles. Okay, so I told my H index is 16, right? So what I mean by my H index? Okay, so H index is a metric. Okay, so for everything people have I mean, what fixed metrics. Okay, so this is also a metric used to measure the productivity and citation impact of a researcher's work. Okay, so I will explain you what I mean by 16 impact 16 H index. So this was first proposed by physicist George E. Hirsch in 2005, and has become a widely used tool for the evaluating academic output, particularly in the sciences and social sciences. So suppose if a person has a H index more than 15 and 20, so he will be considered as a, I mean, like a major contributor towards the science field. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Okay, so let me consider one person. Actually, he has published 10 papers. So the first paper of a person has been cited for 100 times. Second paper has been cited for 78 times, and third 62 times, fourth 43 times, fifth 32 times, sixth 18 times. After that, 7, 8, 9, 10 papers have lesser citations, 3, 2, 1, and 1. Okay, so you can see here that his 6 papers, okay, so his 6 papers have been cited for more than 6 times. So his 6 papers have been cited more than 6 times. Therefore, his H index is 6. For example, in my case, okay, so in my case, I told I have H index of 16, right? So what I mean by that is my 16 papers have been cited minimum for 16 times. My 16 papers have been cited minimum 16 times. Okay, so that is a H index. So here you can see that he has published H index are 6 papers which have been cited minimum 6 times. Okay, so in order to get 18 as his H index, he should have published 18 papers. Okay, so which have been cited for 18 times, then only his H index is 18. Okay, so listen to me carefully, because your objective type questions comes from these explanation only. Okay, so let me explain you what is I-10 index. I-10 index is a simple metric. Okay, so this actually tells you that suppose if you have published a particular paper for 10, if your paper has been cited for 10 times, okay, so then that is taken as a I-10 index. Okay, so here you can see that, so a person has published 8 papers. Out of 8 papers, is 6 papers have been cited at least for 10 times. So that is why what is his I-10 index? His I-10 index is also 6 only. Okay, so in my case, so my I-10 index is 26. So what I mean by that, my 26 papers have minimum 10 citations. My 26 papers have minimum 10 citations. That's why my I-10 index is 26. Here, H index is also 6 and I-10 index is also 6. Okay. So next important factor which comes into picture in the literature review is an impact factor. Okay, so what I mean by impact factor? Impact factor is a metric which is used to measure the average number of citations received by the articles published in a particular academic journal. So that means a particular journal publishes so many articles. So that divided by the total number of citations that the article, the particular journal is going to receive. If you take the ratio of it, so that will be decided as an impact factor. Okay, so it is widely used as an indicator of the influence of prestige of a journal in its field. And the concept was introduced by Eugene Garfield, the founder of the Institute of Scientific Information. Okay, so yeah, this is the definition. Total number of times its article was cited during the 2 previous years divided by the total number of citable articles in the journal during those 2 years. That means that is given by the journal's impact factor for a particular year. So that means if a journal is receiving more citations, that means that particular journal is publishing important articles. So that's why its impact factor is going to increase. Higher the impact factor, it's very difficult to publish the paper in that particular journal. Okay, so this is the meaning of impact factor. So what do you mean by the impact factor? Total number of times its articles cited during the 2 previous years divided by total number of citable articles in the journal. So total number of citations in 2 years divided by total number of articles that the journal is going to publish will tell you the impact factor. Okay, so we have published in a very good impact factor. 18 also we have published. It's very, very difficult to publish papers in a higher impact factor. So next comes the Science Direct. Science Direct actually gives you the journal searches. So when which is for science field. Okay, so I don't know how many of you are from the science, how many of you are from the arts, how many of you are from the commerce. But science, for the science search engine, Science Direct is the main thing. Okay, so it is going to give you all Elsevier published papers. Okay, so suppose if you give a search like flexible triboelectric nanogenerator, so it's going to list all the articles which are published. Okay, so there you can refine by the years, refine by the article type. So there are different types of article types like review article, research article, encyclopedia, book chapters, and also you can refine it by publication title, author's name. Okay, and also you can download these articles, and also you can export these articles to wherever you want to save the articles. Okay, so here it's going to give you the abstract. So it will tell you what is the abstract of this particular journal, and also it will give you all the information about the authors, and also the journal name and volume and the year and month of publishing, and also the page numbers. Okay, so this is whatever the first paper you are going to get is the most suitable with your search word. Okay, so next one is a Villa online library. Okay, so here this is also an alternative search engine for the Science Direct. So here also it is possible for you to search for your papers of interest of any topic. So you can see that it will give you articles and chapters also, and you can search by journals, books, reference works, and also you can fix the publication date. Even you can say last month what's the publication that particular field, or last year, or something like that. You can refine your search word based on your requirement, and you're going to get whether it's a full paper, or whether you have a full access or not, and also the author names and the journal and other informations, and also you can go through the abstract. Okay, so next one is a Microsoft Academic. Okay, so this is also another search engine. So you can also put your search word, and you can search for the articles related to that. You will get authors and the journal and the abstract. Okay, so and also it will show you citations, whether you can download it, or whether you can share it, or whether you want to cite it also. So these are all the important characteristics of Microsoft Academic. So next one is a core. Core is a connecting repositories. Okay, so core actually this is maintained by the Knowledge Media Institute based at the Open University, United Kingdom. So it has a special features like programmable machine access to data, and also you can have core publisher connector, core recommender, core repository dashboards, where it is going to give you the world's largest collection of open access research papers. I should tell you what is open access. Open access research papers are readily available to the readers. Okay, so closed access research papers are, we have to pay the journal and we have to download. Okay, so whenever we have to publish in an open access, we have to pay and publish. But whenever we are going to publish it in a subscripted journal or the closed access journal, we need not pay. Okay, so whoever is going to read it, they have to purchase it. Okay, so here you can see that they aggregate and enrich open access research papers from around the world, and also they provide seamless access to the content and data through unique APIs, and also they create powerful services for the researchers, universities, and industry. So they are all open for reading. So next one is an archive. Archive is a very, very important website where you can deposit your work before it publishes. So Cornell University, the Simons Foundation, and by member institutions, archive.org is going to be maintained. So this is an open access to, you can see here, 1 crore or 15 crore 88 lakhs, or 1 crore 58 lakhs, and 88,010 e-prints in the fields of physics, mathematics, computer science, all these fields. So you can find open access papers, okay, or the repositories. Okay, so this software is backed by Python developer. Okay, and also you can have a repository of electronic reprints and scientific papers in different fields, and you can also self-archive. You can upload one article here, and you can just show that this article is under process, and if you do that, nobody will copy the same work and they are going to publish it. Okay, so you are going to get the notifications, and the formats in this particular archive is text file or PDF or other document, not in a Word file. You can just use the things. So next is, I told DOI, right? So DOI means digital object identifier. So it will look like this. It will look like this. DOI means it will consist of string of numbers, letters, and symbols. Okay. So this DOI will be created as a permanent identity of your article, like your PAN number, like your Aadhaar number. Okay. So this is also going to be created to give you a unique or a permanent identity for your published article. Okay, so it is always refers to the specified article. Okay, so if you publish one article, you will have one DOI. If you have two articles, you will have two DOI, like that. And you can find the DOI using crossreference.org. So if you copy the DOI and paste it in the crossreference.org, you can know about the what is your article and what is the information about your article. So next I'll speak to the digital repositories. Okay. So as far as science and arts and commerce, research is concerned, so this is going to be the best way of, taking up the literature review. That is Shodh Sindhu. Okay. So this Shodh Sindhu is for higher education electronic resources, and this is centrally funded by technical institutions of India. Okay, so this is an initiative by Ministry of Education, Government of India, and this is being executed by InflibNet Center. So you can see that you have 98 institutions, 2017 universities, 3,800 plus colleges, 10,000 e-journals, and 1,99,500 e-books, and so many e-books through NDL, 20 resources, 4 databases. All these institutions will be connected by the InflibNet, and they are going to share their data. Okay. So next is Shodh Ganga. So this is Shodh Sindhu. This is Shodh Ganga. Shodh Ganga is about digital repository of Indian thesis and dissertations. So suppose if you want to see any thesis, you can go to the Shodh Ganga and you can see. Okay, so this is also run by InflibNet Center, and that is also controlled by Inter-University Center of the University Grants Commission, UGC. And another repository for thesis is Shodh Gangotri. So that's also a repository of the synopsis and research proposals. You see, whenever you even choose a title, you cannot choose the title which has been already chosen by somebody else. So in order to make sure whether you are choosing a different title, you have to go through this Shodh Gangotri, and you should see, you should give a search, and then you should make sure that nobody has chosen the title, and you should, choose the title. So nowadays it's mandatory to submit your thesis or the synopsis in the UGC website. Otherwise, your thesis is not going to be published, or it's not going to be accepted. Okay. So you have Shodh Ganga. Okay, so in the Shodh Ganga, you can see 5,76,731 theses have been uploaded. 15,087 synopses are there, and you have 83 PDFs or fellowship reports. So if you go through these things, you can also note down the idea of writing the thesis or the synopsis or the whatever the fellowship reports also. So in the Shodh Ganga, you can see that. So here thesis been added during April 23rd to March 24 has been given here. So 77,164. It has been given according to the different subjects. Okay, so different subjects, and also it is according to the different languages. Okay, so all other informations state wise, okay, subject wise, and even the language wise, it has been given the information. Okay, so next one is Cornell University Library, which gives the e-prints. Okay, so you can go to the website and you can give your search, and if your whatever the thesis which has been published outside India, okay, so the foreign theses, okay, so the theses are the dissertation work, other project work which has been published globally, that can be got through this archive.org, and that's going to give you the thesis, whatever it is. Okay, so coming to our university library, we also have e-journals. Okay, so we have a website called Mysore University Library website. So you can have e-books, e-journals, databases. So many things are there, and even the campus map, all these things you are going to get, and also new e-books purchased, all this information, along with it e-journals, e-books, e-databases, and also you can get digital repositories or the thesis, all those things you can get, and also you can get it, you can get like this. Okay, so you can go to the basic search. Okay, so you can give the title, and you can go on you can go on finding the work related to the search word. Okay, so now let me tell you about citation tools. So let me say you have decided to make the literature work, a literature review, you have collected many PDFs and other things, and you will get confused. So how do you manage your searches which you are going to get? So there are tools, okay, so which can organize your findings, and when you organize it properly, that is going to be a successful review. So these tools are Zotero, Mendeley, and EndNote. Okay, so these are going to help you to keep track of sources and categorize them by themes or methodologies, and that will actually improve clarity. Otherwise, what you will do is you will download the same article again and again, and you will get confused, and there is a resources wastage, and your time, majorly it is your time waste. Okay, so let me come to the Mendeley. I will explain. So Mendeley, you will have for 3 different things. So you can download it in desktop. Okay, so this is a software that organizes PDFs, creates references, and helps you to write papers. It's going to help you in many ways. So you have a Mendeley web, where a research catalog of 350 million documents from 2 million researchers and 100,000 collaborative groups is already available. So you can create your library in the Mendeley. You have to first download it, create your library while surfing the web, and you can directly import the references into the Mendeley. And also you can plug in this software or the tool in the MS Word, and you can use it for citing. Okay, so how do you use Mendeley? So this is a free academic software. Okay, so no need to pay. Now it is a non-platform. You can use it on desktop, web, even on the tabs or the mobiles. Okay, once you log in, so there is advantage of using a Mendeley. Once you log in using your email ID, whatever the information you are going to store, either in phone or in mobile or in website or desktop, can be accessible in other tools also. If you have stored some information in the mobile, you can access that in the desktop, or if you store something on the desktop, you can access from the mobile. Okay, so it will organize your data. So how it's going to organize? So that will have your desktop library. If you open the desktop library, so you can go to my library. Okay, so in the my library, you can find all the articles. So all these articles are going to be sorted. Okay, so here you can see that it's going to sort the articles like whether you have read already, or you are yet to read, or whether it is available in the PDF form or Word form. And if you just click on that, it is going to show you what is the abstract of that article. You can just move on that, and you can see the information about that article, and you can just mark in that particular whether you have already read or yet to be read, or you can highlight whatever the important points. And here it is also going to give you title and the year of publishing and the journal of publishing. Okay, so here suppose if you have Mendeley in your computer, if you go to the Google, it will show save to Mendeley. Okay, so you can just click on a particular article, and you can say that you can select that, and you can say that you save it to the Mendeley. So this will select an article and import the reference to your library in one click. No need to download it and then move it to the save it to the Mendeley. It will do it automatically. Okay, and also it's going to synchronize your library to access it anywhere, as I already told, and read across the devices. When you're traveling also, you can read or when you're using some other either a desktop or a laptop or a tab, you can use it. So it's going to manage your library. So as I told you, documents can be marked read or unread, or it's going to be your favorite paper, or it is available in the PDF form, and it's going to tell you whether it is a docx or pptx. Okay, and also I told you that it's going to filter. Yeah, you can search inside the library by filtering by authors, tags, publications, or keywords. So you can give, for example, I have given here protein. So that will fetch only the articles which are related to the proteins. Okay. And also there is another advantage of using Mendeley. What you can do is you can write annotate. So you can say that, this will tell this particular article I have read on so and so date. And also you can highlight whatever the important points on that particular. You need not print it and take the printout and mark it in a highlighter. That's not at all needed. Here also there are notes. You can write the note here and you can mark whatever the important point, because after some time you will forget what you have read in that article and what is important about that particular article. So suppose if you have plugged in, okay, so Mendeley, so you will see that here you are going to see, okay, so in the Word document you can see insert bibliography. So suppose if you choose insert bibliography, so it will go to the Mendeley, and Mendeley citation plugin makes it easy to insert citations into your article. Okay, so it is like this: click insert or edit citation, search by author, and select the article or book. Here you have selected, and if you say insert it, it's directly goes and inserts it. Okay, so the next one is a Zotero. Zotero also does the almost same job as your Mendeley. New collection, new feed or group, collection of the literature, group libraries, etc. Okay, so yeah, these are all the things about literature review. Suppose if you want to ask any questions regarding the literature review, you can ask. Otherwise, I'll proceed to take up the intellectual property rights. Any questions? No? Okay, let me proceed.
Ma'am, in literature,
Yeah.
excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
In literature, can we refer to the fiction of other authors also, or should we
Yes.
stick to the only research papers?
No. You can refer to the fiction.
Related with the literature.
You can refer to the fiction, but you that should be published, no? So it's, if it's already published, you can refer to any of the books which have been published. You see, if it is not published, nobody has reviewed that article, whatever the article, right? So you can write something, okay, so which is not base, which doesn't have a proper backup. Okay, so it has to be reviewed. Okay, so if it has been published, any published document you can refer. That is not an issue. Okay, yeah. So next comes, next comes the, I hope I can move forward. Anybody has any other question?
Madam, one more question, madam.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Madam, so in Google, if you search for impact factor, some local journal like paid journal also they are mentioning impact factor like 7, 8 like. So how to trust those journals?
You don't trust it. Okay, so only Scopus indexed are the Google Scholar. So only we are from the reputed publishers like Elsevier, Taylor and Francis, Willey. You know that, right? So if you are asking this question, means you know that. So other journals which are paid, and also whoever the journal which is having only ISSN number and they are claiming we have impact factor of 10, 20 or something like that, please don't trust it. We are not going to take that. Okay. That is not authenticated impact factor. So those which can be, cited only in Web of Science, Google Scholar and Scopus indexed. So those can be only trustable. Okay. I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah, madam. Thank you.
Shall I proceed now for the intellectual property rights?
Please, madam.
Yeah. So the first part which I have told you was about conducting a literature. So the second part is, suppose if you have conducted a literature and you have started your research and you have found some part of your work is very unique and novel. Okay, so nobody have done in the history. Nobody have identified that idea, or nobody have came out with that idea, or some design, something like that. Then comes the intellectual property rights. Okay, so we can patent them. Okay, so what is the IPR? The legal rights that protect creation of the mind, such as inventions, literary and artistic work. Like if you purchase your property, you're going to register it, right? If you don't register, nobody will say it's your property, right? But this intellectual property, that means it's your, knowledge which you have created, or you have come out with a new idea or something like that. It can be inventions, it can be literary work or artistic work, or symbols, or the names, images, and the designs, all these things. I think you know that many standard companies will have their standard logos, so that cannot be copied, right? So you will have many fake companies, but they cannot copy their logos. So logos are also intellectual property rights. IPR actually aims to ensure creators are the owners of intellectual property, and they should receive recognition or financial benefits from their work. So you will be like investing all your time to come out with a new idea, and if somebody else is going to copy, you are not going to receive any recognition, right? So that is why we have this Intellectual Property Rights Act. Okay, so that's your property, your brainchild, and you should be given the recognition. And also, if you are the authority for selling or sharing that particular information. If you have to get a financial benefit, you should only get it. That is a IPR. Okay, so the patents on the website of the Intellectual Property Office India. Okay, so that can be processed. So this is the website for the filing a patent. Okay, so you will have you have a manuals regarding this intellectual property rights. You can go through this whatever the documents, because I cannot cover everything within 1 hour which is allotted to me about all these things. I'm going to just give you the glimpses of whatever I want to tell you. Okay, so this is the Office of the Controller General of the Patents. So that if you go to that website, okay, IPR India, so you're going to get all these informations. So let me tell you what is the important of patent. So important is a very, very important point of the patents is to find out source of scientific and technical literature. And also it is going to be a treasure house of scientific inventions. So if somebody is getting credits, so what he will get a motivation to make further discoveries. So otherwise he is going to be like disappointed. And it also avoids duplication. Suppose if somebody has come out with some invention, if he patents it and if he puts it in a website, then some other person cannot duplicate the invention, and he can claim that is his discovery or something like that. So it can actually avoids duplication, and it shows a new way for further discoveries, and also stop reinventing the wheel, because wheel has been already invented, right? So if somebody else comes and if he says, no, I have invented the wheel, but he may actually not use the idea of what is the technology involved in the invention of the wheel, but it's already invented. So why you want to reinvent it? Reinvention is not possible. And identifies emerging technologies and emerging areas of research. So if somebody files a patent, based on that whatever the knowledge, some other person can take up to further improve it or come out with other technologies. Okay, so that's why IPR is very, very important. What does a patent do? Suppose I say, okay, I was doing my research and I found some part of my work is very unique and very novel, and I'll patent it. What it will do? So it will protect that intellectual property for next 20 years. So no one else can manufacture the product without giving royalty to that particular person who have patented it. And someone can pay you, yeah, so we can receive the royalties and we can block the competitors. Okay, so that is after 20 years, technology goes to public domain. It will not remain to the individual, it will go to the public domain. It will only the person who takes the patent will hold the rights for 20 years. Okay, so what are the types of IPR? Intellectual property rights. Patents is one of the type of IPR. So the first type is patents, so which actually protects inventions, products or processes that offer a new solution to a problem. For example, a new drug formulation. So new drug form, whenever a person comes out with a new drug formulation, it has to be patented, right? During the COVID, we had different drugs which have been discovered that has to be patented. Otherwise, somebody else can come and say, I have also discovered. Okay, so before they release it to the market, they will patent it. And next is trademarks. So I already told. So that will protect specific logos, names, symbols, or phrases that distinguish goods or services. So I think you have observed, right? Brands, logos. So each brand will have their own logo that will be patented. So if somebody else uses that, they will go to the court, right? So they will sue them. So they will put a fine for them. So next one is copyright. So this protects original works of authorship, such as books, music, and films. So they will be copyrighted, right? So your music, which has been going to be released by the music companies, will be copyrighted. So you can see at the corner, see copyright by some studio or something like that. And also films will also be copyrighted. So if somebody else have to use any script or something from that particular film, so they have to pay royalty. Then only they should take their permission and they should pay royalty, and then they can use. Okay. And also, these journals in which we are going to publish, they will also have copyright. They will take copyright from us to sell those, articles. Okay, so that's why this is also another type of intellectual property, right? And next is trade secrets. So this protects confidential business information that provides a competitive edge, like Coca-Cola. So KFC. So whether they are going to reveal their recipes, no, right? So all these companies, they will have trade secrets that will also be patented. So now let me come back to the patent. So patent is a legal right which is granted to an inventor, giving them exclusive rights to their invention for a certain period of time. What's the period of time I told? 20 years. I may ask the questions, all these questions in your MCQs. So this means that no one else can make, use or sell the invention which you have made. So what is the purpose? So that will protect inventions and encourage innovation by allowing inventors to benefit commercially from their creativity. So if you are creative, you should be benefited, right? So you can make money out of it. What is a patent? So it is a statutory right to the inventor or the applicant by the government for his invention, which is either a new process or product. So it can be methodology, it can be a product, it can be a gold design, an ornament, an architecture, whatever may be the thing. So that is a patent. It is for the limited period, and it is granted in lieu of sufficient disclosure to the patent offices. So you don't think if I am discovering or coming out with some design or something, you will not get a patent very easily. Okay, so there will be a committee, they will check it in the literature, and also they will ask you for many explanations, and all these processes only you are going to get your patent credited. And it is only territorial right, and it is a negative right. Okay, so you cannot any other person cannot sell the whatever the work you have made. So however, patent is not an absolute right. Okay, so because this is subjected to the conditions, like so government can use it. Okay, and importation or manufacturing by or on behalf of the government, experimental purpose, research purpose, teaching purpose, for all these purposes you cannot charge. If it is only for the commercial purpose, you will receive the royalty. Distribution of drug or medicine by government in dispensary, hospital or other. If you have come out with some medicine and if you say I am patented and I am not going to give it to government also, it is not allowed. Okay, so government can use it. Used for foreign vessels, aircraft, land vehicles, all these things it is allowed. Okay, so what are the patent rights? So that is, patent rights are to prevent third party without authorization. So somebody will come and claim your work as his work or their work. So then that is not possible. Making or manufacturing, using or offering for selling, importing, distributing, licensing. All these things for the third party is not possible. So what are the patentable subject matter? So I told you already, any article, apparatus or machinery, any substance, whether living or non-living product, pharmaceutical product, any composition of matter, pharmaceutical products, any process, manner or art of manufacturing other than essential biological processes. So you see, this bottle is in a particular shape, that is also patented. So no other company should copy that shape. Okay, so even this is in a particular shape, this camera. Okay, so all these things have been patented, the design have been patented. So what are the basic criteria for patentability? So any idea, every idea cannot be patentable. What are the basic criteria which should satisfy in order to patent? So the first one is novelty. Novelty means uniqueness. So that should have been for the first time. Okay. So novelty, non-obviousness. So if it is, everything is obvious, like if I say I have, come out with the discovery or design of a chair, so I cannot, right? So if I design a chair in a particular design or some unusual design which is going to be useful, then only it can be patented. And for the industrial application. So these are the three major criteria for coming out with whether you can patent or you can file for a patent or not. What is an invention then? Invention means a new product or process involving an inventive step and capable of industrial applications. So otherwise it won't be an invention. Okay. So what do you mean by new invention? So new invention must be published in India or elsewhere. Before patenting, you cannot publish it. Okay, so when you file work for the patent, if your patent is filed, not yet granted, then only you can go for the publication. In prior public knowledge or prior public use within India are claimed before in any specification in India. So otherwise, if you have done all these things, it cannot be patented. Okay, so the first inventive step is it involves technical advance as compared to the existing knowledge, or it should have economic significance, or both. And also it makes the invention not obvious to a person skilled in the art. Okay, so it should not be like obvious for everybody to understand. You should have some uniqueness in that. So if it looks like a common thing, so it cannot be patented. Okay, so what do you mean by industrial application? It means that invention is capable of being made or used in any kind of industry, maybe drug industry or maybe in any other manufacturing process or something like that. Okay, so what is not patentable? So inventions which fall within the scope of section of Patents Act 1970 are not patentable, and inventions which are falling within the scope of section of subsection 20 of Atomic Energy Act 1962. For example, inventions relating to compounds of uranium, beryllium, thorium, all these radioactive elements. Okay, so they are not patentable because it has been, why they are not patentable? You know that they are hazardous materials. So they are going to create, explosions. There is a possibility that they are going to create explosions. Okay, so again, you have frivolous or anything obviously contrary to the established natural laws, well-established natural laws. So you cannot say I'm going to create a human being. Okay, so that is contrary to the natural laws. That is also not patentable. Contrary public order or morality, serious prejudice to the human, animal or plant life or health or to the environment, that is also not possible. And mere discovery of a scientific principle or the formulation of an abstract, so they are not, you are not going to be given permission to patent. Suppose if you are writing a theoretical formulation on any living thing or non-living substances which are occur in nature. Okay, so you cannot come out with, I will skip this. Okay, not patentable. So many things are there. I will just skip it. Okay, so types of patents which can be categorized based on the nature of the prevention they protect. The first one is utility patents. This is going to protect new and useful inventions or discoveries. For example, a new type of engine, pharmaceutical drug, a mobile phone technology. So these come under the utility patents. So next is design patents. That's protects ornamental design or appearance of an object, and not its functionality, just appearance. The unique shape of perfume bottle, design of a car's headlight, user interface, icons, all those things. Plant patents protects new and distinct varieties of plants that are not grown from the seeds. For example, new variety of roses, disease resistant fruit trees. So all these things comes under that. Provisional patents, a temporary patent application that establishes an early filing date and allows the inventor to use them for the patent pending. So this is going to be valid for 12 months, after which a formal utility patent must be filed. So he may be thinking, I am coming out with an important discovery. So he can have a provisional patent. Within 12 months, he should complete this process. Otherwise, he should file a, utility patent. So the patent process in India is governed by the Indian Patent Act 1970 and is managed by the Office of the Controller General of Patents, Designs and Trademarks, that is in New Delhi. Okay, so if you are coming out with the patentable process. So now let me tell you what is the process of patenting. So first of all, you should be curious, but do not disclose your invention. Okay, so if you are disclosing your invention, means everything is published. Keep a bound notebook to prove when you got the idea. Develop the idea and produce a model. Write why your invention is needed, what the existing products are in the market, what is a improvement over the existing products you have done, whether you have come out with a new product, and what is a uniqueness about your product should be mentioned in the process of patenting. Okay. So this is a roadmap of patenting, filing a patent. So what you will do is you will find whether your work is novel or not. So that is a first stage. And you will also see in the literature whether that type of work has been done, whether you can find such type of design or the work or the idea, whatever it is. And then it will take you to the patent specification. So you have to prepare a patent specification. So there are a lot of specifications which are required by the patent office. Then you will go to the patent office and you will file a patent for application, and then it will be published. So publication of the patent application is the next stage, and after that there will be a beginning of examination of application after your request. So you are going to give receive a letter for the examination. So you should respond to the examination report and hearing. You should go there and you should justify your whatever the discoveries, and if all these whatever the experts are going to be satisfied, then you will be granted with the patent. So don't think it's a very simple process, rather it's going to be a very huge process. So the documents which are required for filing of a patent application is covering letter, which indicates the list of documents, application for grant of patent in form 1 in duplicate and complete, provisional specification in form 2, statement and undertaking in form 3, power of attorney in form 26, declaration of the inventorship, request for examination, requisite of statutory fees. Okay, so the different steps in the patent are determine patentability. I told you already. So the invention must be new, and you should decide about it. You should conduct a prior search to ensure your invention, which has not already been done. Drafting includes these steps. So you should provide particulars of applicants and the inventors. So inventor may be one or many. Provide a brief descriptive title of the invention, and 100 words. You should provide an abstract, a summary of the invention. So this is going to be a short summary, and detailed description. What's the problem? What is the invention? Whether you have solved any problem or something like that. General applications of the invention, advantages of the invention, disclosing the increased efficiency or efficacy, the best way of using the invention as well as possible variants, and working an invention along with the drawings, schematics and flow diagrams. Every information you should give, and that will be subjected to the examination. And next you should say whether you have patented, whether you have conducted a primary search, whether you have conducted a literature review or not, existing state of the art and prior arts. So whether you have seen what is your, what is the previous work and what is your improvement over the previous work. List out the known ways about how others have tried to solve the same or similar problems. So necessary to describe drawbacks in earlier work and what improvements you have taken in the present work, and also list of the technical features and elements of the invention along with the description of your invention. So that is also you should provide, and the list of the features of your invention that are believed to be new and distinguish them from the closest technology. That means what key features need to be considered in the existing work to file a patent. And also, has the invention been built or tested or implemented? So if you say if something you have done and which cannot be tested or implemented, so then if you say yes, you should provide the particulars of the first time it was successfully built or implemented, or all testing details whether you have conducted or not, and briefly state when and how you first conceived this idea. So for everything you should give a evidence, otherwise it will not be. Have you sold or offered for sale publicly used by anything or by any invention? So if yes, please briefly explain and list those individuals to whom you have revealed your invention. Were non-disclosure documents signed before the disclosure? Please state any deadlines you may be aware of for applying this invention. I think you are now seeing how complicated it is to even file a patent. Include any reasons that your invention would not have been obvious to someone of average skill in the art. If somebody with the average skill in the art, if he doesn't understand that, then tell me what are the reasons for that, and what are the reasons for your invention to invent such an idea. Additional comments by the inventor you can provide. Also the drawings or the flow charts or the tables, which is for the initial catalyst screening study, or optimization, or substrate scope study, recyclability, purpose of the plausible reaction mechanism, or something like that you can write. Okay, so as far as filing of the patent is concerned, you can even go to the Delhi and you can file that in the patent office, or you can file it in electronic filing, and also you have mediators for filing the patent applications. So where to file patent applications? I told you already. So the office is you have patent office branch in Chennai, Mumbai, New Delhi, and Kolkata. So you can even go to the Delhi, or else you have to go in person with to all these places, or otherwise you can sit and file your application through internet or in the website. So after you file, okay, so let me say you have fulfilled all those whatever the criteria and you have filed. Once a patent application is filed, it is published in the Indian Patent Office journal, or also in the website. So this publication is an important step in the patent process, as it makes the details of the application accessible to the public. So now public can see your application. They can they can question your discovery. Okay, so after a patent application is published, the next step is to formally request its examination by the Indian Patent Office. The examination will be by framing the experts, which determines whether the invention meets the legal requirements for the patentability. Okay, so the request for examination must be filed using Form 18 along with the prescribed fee within 48 months from the priority date. So within this 48 months, what happens? So within this 48 months, somebody can question your patent. Okay, so he can say it is a fake patent, or he can challenge the patent. Okay, and he can say I can disprove that discovery, or whatever it is. So next is the examination process. Examination process is the stage where Indian Patent Office thoroughly evaluates the patent application, and it will determine whether it is eligible for the grant of patent or not. So when you file a request for examination, the application is assigned to an examiner who issues a first examination report, FER, so detailing objections or requirements. So he will ask for you for many clarifications. The applicant must respond to the first examination report within 6 months, which is extendable by 3 months. So suppose in the objection, if they ask to improve the experiments or come out with the some more evidences, so then you should go. Otherwise, If you cannot answer these questions or the objections, so the patent is not going to be granted. If you resolve all objections, it is going to be granted. Otherwise, it's going to be rejected. Okay. So now the last step is, so you have answered all the steps, all the objections, and the patent is going to be granted. Then the patent, the details are published in the patent journal or the website. The patent remains valid for the 20 years from the filing date, subjected to payment of annual renewal fees. You should pay and you should keep it live for 20 years. So you will also have post-grant compliance. That means after a patent is granted, the patent holder must fulfill post-grant compliance obligations. That means this includes paying annual renewal fees starting from the 3rd year, and the holder must also file Forms 27 annually reporting whether the patent is being commercially used in India. If it is commercially used, he should provide all the information. Legal enforcement of rights such as addressing infringement, that is the holder's responsibility. That means if somebody else again objects that patent, he should provide valid reasons for telling that his patent is legal. Additionally, patents may face post-grant opposition within 1 year or revocation challenges, that which I have told you. Somebody else can object that patent, and he has to accept the challenge, and he should disprove all the challenges which has been raised by the person. Failing to comply with these requirements again can result the patent being deemed or invalid or open to compulsory licensing. Okay, so all these things are going to happen even after the grant of the patent. Okay, so these are all the complicated steps which are involved, but I'm not discouraging you from filing a patent. But if you come out with really a novel work or a unique work, so I'll really encourage you to patent particular work into the patent. Okay, so these are the references which I have followed. So I have followed even the government website, and also this is a book which I have followed. So thank you for your attention and for patience.